I would like to thank you for allowing me to speak to your 20 group meeting this morning. I trust that you're able to take home some very actionable practices that will help you be more successful. In probably 7 out of 10 dealerships that I'm in, I get asked, what is working for other dealers and what can I do to increase my sales? Well, it's on that premise that I would like to share a personal experience that I just recently encountered and would like to title it The Lost Sale. I've changed the names to protect the guilty. My reason for sharing this story is not to crucify the guilty, but rather to learn from it and to develop a process with you so that it does not happen to you. So let me set the scene for you. A few weeks ago, I was driving home on a 4-hour drive from my visit with a dealer group. On this drive home, I decided to surprise my wife and take her on Saturday to get a new car. It made the most sense to lease her a car than for me to take her car, which has only 34,000 miles on it, and retire my car, which had pretty much miled out with 228,000 miles on it. My wife, like most of your customers, has been looking at what other people have and had made a wish list of 3 possible SUVs that she would like. She even had her top 3 color choices. But being the wife of a car guy, she quickly added that color was not a number 1 choice. So now my experience begins. Upon arriving home, I took her out to dinner like every good husband would do and explained my plans. Needless to say, she was excited. She reviewed her choices with me, told me she would like to test drive all 3, and that while she had her 3 favorite colors, again reminded me that color was not a mandatory option. Well, after dinner, I quickly emailed 3 dealerships through their website Contact Us form and stated that I wanted to bring my wife in on Saturday to test drive their SUV and that I would like them to figure lease payments inclusive of taxes with only the first payment due at signing. I asked them for a 36-month, 12,000-mile lease. I gave them my cell number and email and asked them to let me know the lease payment, what colors they had in stock, and what time on Saturday we could come in. An hour after sending that email, I sent a personal email to each GM and GSM at all 3 dealerships and told them that I was not trading in my car, I had excellent credit, and that I was not asking them to give me a net deal, that they deserved to make a profit, and reminded them that I would take an in-stock unit. I only wanted to know what the lease payment was, and that my wife wanted to test drive these 3 SUVs, then make a decision on which one she liked the best, and that I wanted to finish the deal on Saturday but pick up the new SUV on Monday. Could I make this any easier? I realized that I was emailing on Friday evening after 7, so I was not expecting a reply or phone call until Saturday morning. Well, Saturday morning arrived, and at 8 a.m. I sent a 3rd email to each previously contacted GM, GSM, and even filled out a second Contact Us form on each of their websites for all 3 dealerships. I wanted to let them know that I wanted to schedule a time to come in after 11, and then also gave them both of our cell numbers just in case they couldn't reach one of us. Was I serious in wanting to be sold a new SUV? Absolutely. Was I making this very easy for the winner? Absolutely. Well, after not hearing from any of these 3 dealerships by 10 a.m. on Saturday, I became impatient, like most customers would, and I contacted a 4th dealership. That, by the way, had all 3 SUVs that my wife was interested in. How did this 4th dealership do? Well, I got a quick call back within 10 minutes of submitting the Contact Us form. A girl named Holly said that she got my request and it would be handled by Jennifer, and she would be calling me back very soon. Yep, that stopped the clock. Well, Jennifer called me back in 20 minutes and said that she had given my information to Holly and that Holly would be calling me back shortly with the lease payment. Wait a minute. So Holly passed me off to Jennifer, who just passed me back to Holly, and still I don't have the information I requested. Well, I was totally unimpressed with that, but it was still better than the 3 other dealerships I had originally contacted who, as of now, the time now being 11 a.m. on Saturday, had not contacted me at all, either by phone or email. Well now, tick, 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 90 minutes later, now 12:30, still no callback from any one of the 4 dealerships. So I called Holly back, since she was the only one that called me, and asked her what their problem was. She said her manager was tied up all morning with another customer, and as soon as he is free, she will have him figure the lease and call me back. Well, finally, at 1 o'clock, I got a call from a salesman at this 4th dealership, and he gave me all 3 lease payments, which, by the way, were all within $3 of each other. I told him I wanted to come in right away, and he said that would be great because he was only going to be there for another hour because he wanted to leave early on Saturday. Great first impression. Well, let me cut to the chase. My wife and I left right away, test drove all 3 SUVs. She picked out the one she liked, yes, an in-stock unit, as I had promised the dealership. We did the paperwork on Saturday and then picked up the new SUV on Monday. The final chapter of this experience is this. Monday, at 11:15 in the morning, I got a call from one of the original 3 dealerships. The salesman said he really wanted to help me and asked how he could help. I explained he needed to call me on Saturday and that I had already purchased from his competitor who got back to me on Saturday. He was quick to explain that Saturday is their busiest selling day and they didn't have time to get back to me. Great answer. Great explanation. Man, they have a great process. You know, I wonder how many they sold that Saturday. But wait, there's more. Now, 3 weeks later, I still have not heard from the other 2 dealerships I contacted. Can you believe that? And each of these 3 dealerships, the dealer principals had just asked me within the previous 2 weeks the 2 questions in my opening premise. What is working for your other dealers and what can I do to increase my sales? Now, we could all just shake our heads, fool ourselves, and say, well, that would never happen in my dealership. Maybe it wouldn't, but maybe it would. And worse yet, maybe it does. So what process do you have in place to make sure, 100% sure, that this never happens to you? Who is involved in making sure this does not happen? And what priority does it have each day, especially on Saturday, to inspect this process? Do you have a process that is unique to your dealership? Or are you solely relying on your software or personnel to guard against this experience? Do you take the time to inspect your process, your activity, and your results? I was asking to be sold. I wanted to be sold. I aggressively kept asking to be sold. To the 4th dealership, who still did a very poor job, I was a sale. To the original 3 dealerships who did a horrible job, or really in the case of 2, did nothing at all, I am a lost sale. I have a proven process to guard against this happening to you and a proven process for you to utilize to inspect all activity to make sure this does not happen to you, and I will show that to you. You all want more sales. I get that. But how many people are you turning into lost sales because of your current process? Are you meeting the expectations of your customers 100% of the time and gaining sales? Or are you losing sales because you don't meet the customer's expectations at all? Are you creating a winning experience for each of your customers that is gaining sales? Or are you creating a losing experience that results in lost sales? It's time to prove to yourself that you have the best process in place, or be honest with yourself and be willing to change the process you have to become more successful. Champions are constantly striving to be better. Are you a champion or a complacent loser? I challenge you to be a champion.